Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, I've seen a video of Stephen A. Smith on ESPN saying that he's worried that Manny Pacquiao will get knocked out against Terence Crawford, because he says that Terence Crawford is not just a great fighter, but he's one of the best fighters in the world. Now, he goes that Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman, and he goes, I respect that. You know, Keith Thurman's a great fighter, and he managed to pull off a great win against Keith Thurman, you know, and he was probably not favored to do so. But he goes, I never ever looked at Keith Thurman like I look at Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, Lomachenko, Floyd Mayweather. You know, I've never looked at him in that kind of category. Whereas Terence Crawford, he's in that category. He's in you know, he is one of the best pound for pound. He is one of the best fighters in the world. I never ever looked at Keith Thurman like that. And he feels that Manny Pacquiao could get hurt. Manny Pacquiao could get knocked out in this fight. Listen, Manny Pacquiao could get knocked out in any fight. We saw him get knocked out against Marquez against all the odds. We've seen him get knocked out early on in his career. So the fact that Manny Pacquiao wants to step up and take this challenge, I think is admirable. I think it's great, because he's doing what a lot of young guys should be doing. He's doing something that Crawford and Spence should be taking a leaf out of his book from. That even at this age, he'd be willing to fight. Now, listen, I don't want to get ahead of myself, because the fight's not made. So we don't know whether Manny Pacquiao is going to fight Terence Crawford, because at the minute it seems like a lot of talk. There's a few things in boxing I'm getting frustrated about. One is the Pacquiao-Crawford situation, because they're saying it's all Pacquiao or the Crawford fight situation. The Joshua Fury situation, which they're saying that is going to be announced imminently. But we've been hearing for so long with these two fights and a couple of fights with Crawford's fight and Joshua Fury. We've been hearing so long that these are going to get made, but they're not getting made yet. It's getting a little bit frustrating to what is actually going on. Because as boxing fans, we want to see all the best fights be made. And Crawford-Pacquiao would definitely be a great fight, and one that I would be looking forward to. And I'm pretty sure one that you all would be looking forward to. But the problem is, we've just not, you know, at the minute, it's like we're being told that the fight's happening, and Pacquiao's been linked with so many fighters. It's like, is he fighting somebody? Is he not? Is he going to retire? What's he going to do? We don't know. But it would be great if Crawford can get Pacquiao in the ring, because that would be a great fight for both. Manny Pacquiao will be looking to cement his legacy even further. Crawford will be looking to get that big name and that big welterweight name on his resume. That's the big name that people are asking for. And I don't think after that, no one can, if Crawford puts in a stellar performance, no one can really doubt him after that. But listen, Manny Pacquiao might get knocked out against Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford's a quality fighter, a great fighter. And I don't see it, though. I think if Manny Pacquiao is going to lose, he's going to lose by decision. I don't look at Terence Crawford as a devastating puncher. I don't even think he's very explosive. And to be honest with you, unless Manny really tires and gets really fatigued, I don't really see Crawford hurting Pacquiao like that. You know, I don't see Crawford. I know Max Kellerman was saying he's turned into a puncher boxer. He's fought guys that were like Benavidez. He had a troubled leg. Amir Khan was past his best. Kell Brook was way past his best and shot worn. He fought Jeff Horn, and really Jeff Horn ate a lot of his punches. And got knocked out late. Velasquez ate a lot of his punches and got knocked out late. So really, when you think about it, yeah, it might look he's been knocking everybody out, but you have to really look at, you know, the fact that some of those guys were washed up. Some of them weren't top-level, top-notch fighters. So I don't really look at Crawford as a really big puncher when you think about it. I've never looked at him as a huge puncher. And I don't really think he knocks Manny Pacquiao out. I'm just being honest with you. I don't really think he's got huge power like that. Unless Manny Pacquiao tires and stamina becomes an issue, which it could do at this age, because in the Thurman fight it was an issue. But Thurman, for me, is a lot physically stronger than Crawford. Thurman, for me, hits harder than Crawford. Thurman's very strong. Thurman hits very hard. You know, Pacquiao said that he was on the same level as Margarito. And Crawford ain't hitting harder than Margarito. He's not bigger than Margarito. Margarito was very big, very durable, and he could punch. Now, obviously, Crawford's a better boxer than Margarito. He's a lot more nimble on his feet. He's a lot more slick and skillful, for sure. But for me, he's not. When I look at Crawford, he's not a devastating puncher. So listen, anyone can get knocked out, because if you get caught with the right punch, you could go, right? So if Crawford catches Pacquiao, he could hurt him, he could knock him out. But I don't really look at Crawford as a huge devastating puncher. I don't believe he is, to be honest with you. And I feel that Pacquiao's got a very good chin, and he showed that against Thurman. Like I said, unless he gets old overnight and he's completely now shot to bits, and Crawford takes advantage of that, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think Crawford stops him. I think this got a decision written all over it. Just like I don't think Crawford stops. He might stop Thurman, but he doesn't stop Danny Garcia. He doesn't stop Sean Porter, and he doesn't stop Errol Spence, in my opinion. So I just don't think he stops any of the top welterweights, and I think Pacquiao's still among the top welterweights. He was recently a champion. I know he got stripped or put into recess recently, but he still, beat Keith Thurman, and he showed a great chin in that fight. Thurman can punch. For me, Thurman's a bigger puncher than Crawford. So to be honest with you, Crawford's faster than Thurman. Yeah, I'll say that Crawford's faster. So his speed could give Pacquiao trouble, because Crawford is fast, no doubt about it. And Crawford has got, in my opinion, the better boxing brain and the better boxing IQ over Thurman. But in terms of his punch power, I don't see that being a huge problem. Like one punch power being a huge problem for Manny. Like accumulation of punches could wear Manny down at his age, yeah. But it all comes down to what Manny Pacquiao's got left and where he's at, because he has been very inactive and he is getting older now. And to be fighting somebody like Crawford, who's in the prime, the peak basically of his career, young, fresh, fast, faster feet, very good boxing IQ, decent power. That could be an issue for Pacquiao at this stage. But I don't really think it's one of them where people should be worried about, Pacquiao could get knocked out, because Pacquiao could get knocked out against anyone. You got knocked out against Marquez when people weren't expecting it. You can get knocked out by anybody. I don't think Crawford is a huge... If it was like a huge, devastating puncher, like a big, you're fighting like a Julian Jackson and you're worrying for Pacquiao at this stage. Like, when Muhammad Ali fought Foreman, when Muhammad Ali was old, and people thought, oh my God, that he's fighting Foreman. But Foreman was a huge puncher. He was a monster at the time. So you can understand why people were fearing. Crawford's not that. Crawford's not a monster. Crawford's a good boxer. A guy that can probably outbox Manny and be too slick, be too fast, and outwork him. But in terms of knocking him out, I don't look at Crawford like that. I know Max Kellerman is saying that he's now at welterweight, where at lightweight he was a box puncher, but now he's become a puncher boxer. Yeah, because I feel he's been fighting guys that a lot of them were past their prime, and some of them were not top-notch welterweights. And some of them were just injured, like Benavidez. So I don't really see Crawford as being a huge puncher. I've never really seen him as a huge puncher. I feel like maybe his competition has made him seem a bit like a puncher, but I don't think he is. And I think Pacquiao would be a problem. I do. I think Pacquiao would be a problem, especially if he catches Crawford. He could hurt him. Now, a lot of people are saying Pacquiao's got no chance. Yeah, I favour Crawford in the fight, but to say Pacquiao's got no chance is a load of rubbish. Kavaliauskas almost decked Crawford. Pacquiao's a lot more dangerous than that. A lot more dangerous. I feel like Pacquiao's got a chance, a small one. He ain't got a huge, it won't be a huge chance because of where he's at and how inactive he's been, but he definitely can beat Crawford. But in terms of, people being worried about him and fans being worried about Pacquiao being knocked out, Pacquiao could get knocked out to anybody. It's boxing. You could get hit with a shot and get put out. But Crawford doesn't strike me as a big puncher. He's not a Julian Jackson. He's not a guy that's going to hit somebody with one punch and just flatten them. He's not that type of fighter. Like a Foreman Ali, they were worrying for Ali because he was older and, Foreman was an absolute monster puncher. Crawford's not that. Crawford's more of a guy that likes to outbox you. And Crawford isn't going to be he's not going to be going in looking to be aggressive with Manny because he knows that it's dangerous. If Crawford goes in against Manny Pacquiao, he's going to leave himself open. And Pacquiao could crack him. And we've already seen that Crawford, he has it, you know, when he gets hit, he gets hurt. And Pacquiao's very explosive, very fast. That could be a huge problem for Crawford. So, to be honest, Crawford, although I think Crawford is the favourite in the fight, and maybe a heavy favourite, but Pacquiao's got a chance in the fight. And I don't think fans need to be worried about, or people need to be worried about that Crawford might knock him out. Because anyone could knock anyone out. Like, anyone that Pacquiao fights. Look, as a Pacquiao fan, I was worried Thurman might knock him out. Thurman probably was more dangerous than Crawford. Because Thurman's got more punch power. For me, Crawford's not a huge puncher at welterweight. And we'll see when he fights these guys. If he knocks Pacquiao out, then you'll have to say, wow, what a performance. But I don't really look at Crawford. I don't know what you guys think. I don't ever look at Crawford as a big puncher. He's never been that, really, for me. I just think that the guys that he's been fighting of late, a lot of them were past their best. Some of the big names that he fought were past their best. Or someone like, what's his name? Benavidez, he was injured. He had an injured leg. You know, so, and even he went so many rounds with him. Velasquez went so many rounds with him. You know, all those guys went rounds with him, man. Jeff Horn took a beating from him. You know, even Amir Khan took a beating from Crawford. You know, he was taking those shots. You know, he got put down in the first, got back up, and he took several shots after that. You know, flush. And he took them. So, Crawford doesn't strike me as a guy that's a huge puncher by any stretch. So, I don't know why people will be worried about Manny Pacquiao being knocked out when we've seen him knocked out before. And Crawford's not really a big puncher like that. You know, he's not a Julian Jackson. So, yeah, I don't get why people are saying that people are worried about Manny getting knocked out. Manny could get knocked out to anyone. If Manny fights Porter, he could get knocked out. Manny fights Thurman, he may get knocked out. You know, you can get knocked out against anyone. You know, especially at the age he's at. But I think if he's gonna get stopped by Crawford, I don't think it's going to be because he gets hit with a shot and it completely wipes him out. I think it's going to be because of the stamina that Manny will start to tire. It's got nothing to do with Crawford's punch power. I don't really think Crawford is a huge puncher, to be honest. I think he's got a decent power, but I don't think he's a huge puncher at welterweight. No. But we'll find out. Time will tell. You know, if he knocks out a Porter, Pacquiao, Spence, Thurman, then maybe, I'll change my mind. But as of right now, I don't think he's a huge puncher at welterweight. No, not at all. Not at all. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. What do you make of Stephen A. Smith saying that he's worried that Manny Pacquiao might get knocked out against Terence Crawford? Do you agree with him? Do you disagree with him? What do you make of what he's had to say? Did you watch that interview? Go watch that interview. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think Manny Pacquiao gets stopped? If Manny Pacquiao was to lose this fight, do you think he'll get stopped by Crawford, or do you think it'll be a points victory for Crawford? I personally think it'll be a points victory. I think unless Manny Pacquiao tires and his stamina lets him down, I don't feel he gets stopped against Crawford, if I'm honest with you. But you know, who knows? Time will tell if they do fight. If that fight ever gets made, you know, we'll probably find out. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.